we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 122 of the Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. So I am coming to you today from my secret underground lair where lots of wacky shit has gone on, and man, I have had opportunity to take notice. So I had, levels, man, levels. There we go. How about that? So it's a trip, man, because every time, I get hung up on some stuff and then I don't get to record as often as I want to, and then things are happening and I'm like, man, I got to remember to talk about this. But it's like as soon as I'm making notes, and then as soon as I finally get back on, it's like, dude, so much other weird shit has gone on. It's like, wow, was I even going to talk about that other thing or what? So whatever happened before, there's going to be some shit that falls by the wayside. But before I wanted to get into the most recent goings on, and I wanted to hit on something that somebody sent me, man. So check this shit out. Like, I work, as kind of, I do a lot of, I guess you could say, consulting, like bad advice at high prices, right? And being in that scene, dude, like, I am not your touchy-feely motherfucker. I am not this guy, dude. Like, don't come to me about your inner child. I will tell you to tell the inner child to have a beer. This is horse shit, man. I don't fucking buy it. A lot of this shit, I think, people with their feelings, like, yeah, it's all right to have feelings and that kind of shit. And, if you got some issues, I guess the way I look at it is like, you got some shit to sort through. You got an issue with whatever, man, the way your ex-wife did you, the way your folks did you, the way whatever, man, the way life in general has kicked you in the balls, whatever, dude. There's nothing wrong with sitting down, unpacking some of that shit, thinking through it, talking through it. Well, this is why I'm like this, man, or that's like, why I'm like that. And a lot of times I will say that, yeah, it does make sense to think through this shit and consider the fact that, just because one person done you wrong one time, it doesn't necessarily mean that every person you meet that's like that is going to do you the same way. And it's easier said than done. A lot of times that's well and good. But, once you've thought through that and you decide, all right, dude, I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to look at people a little different. I'm going to handle shit a little bit different. That's fine. Pick up and move the fuck on. But what I see often is not, man, because a lot of this shit, like I work in like a professional setting, like I'm working, around office people, shit like this. And you're talking about professional shit, but often is not. This shit morphs into a personal thing, man. I had this old dude. If he's still alive, I'll be surprised, man. But this old dude was unloading on me about his dad. He hated this motherfucker like no other. And, like, I'm just sitting and listening and and I mean, at the end of the day, like, I ain't going to solve this fucking guy's problems, in an hour. Like, this guy's been carrying this shit around for decades, man. Like, probably since before I was born, and that was a long fucking time ago. But at the end, I'm like, so, you got a lot on your mind, man, but tell me, like, what is any of this doing for you right now to walk around thinking about this? Like, a lot of the way you see the world depends completely on the way you feel about this guy who is long since passed, this guy that you could look at as a grown man now and say, yeah, a lot of what this guy did was bullshit. A lot of what this guy believed was bullshit. Well and good. And I don't know, I don't know this fucking guy. I didn't know his fucking dad. This is just my interpretation of what this guy's presenting to me. And I'm like, you got all these thoughts about this guy, but what is that doing for you right now? Decades of living through this shit. And the guy just kind of, like, it's not like he had some fucking epiphany, but it's like the guy just shrugs his shoulders kind of like, oh, fucking no. And that's kind of my thing, man, is talking through a lot of this shit. It's almost like I'm like an anti-consultant. Like, motherfucker, you know what to do. I don't need to hold your fucking hand and come tell you to do it. Stop being a puss and just get down the road, dude. If you got a nail in your fucking tire, you got a rock in your shoe, yeah, stop. Fix that shit. But now put your fucking shoe back on. Don't sit there and lament. Don't sit there and talk about how far you could have got, without a nail in your tire. And, oh, it's so unfair. I had to stop and, whatever, fucking fix a flat or whatever the hell. Stop that shit. Put the shit back together and get down the road, man. A lot of other people are going to have issues too. You'll catch up. Everything will be fine, but not if you keep sitting there fucking whining. But through the course of this shit, man, I end up interacting with a lot of these touchy-feely types, and a lot of people that get into this shit are women. And motherfucker, I'm a fan of women after a fashion, right? A woman that's a solid woman, I'm a monster fan of. A woman that's a second-rate man, I want to walk into traffic, dude. I am not cool with it. I do not like it. Sam, I am. And I spend a lot of time around these sorts of like, I'm a professional and I know this and I know that and I have experience. You motherfucker, you have experience hanging out, listening to other people talk about what they know about. You don't have experience for shit. So I end up meeting a lot of these people as it happens. And as it is, when you're a dude that just sits still long enough, suddenly women mistake that for you wanting to listen to what they have on their mind. And so this shit happens to me more than it should, man. But I have this woman that does, I guess, like actual proper medical shit as well. But a lot of this consulting shit, and she's talking about like, I'm putting together this wellness program. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like some shit you get water out of, right? Wellness? Well, I'm going to the wellness to get some drinkness. That's what I'm into. But she's talking about, I'm doing this wellness thing, people with it's not like a full tilt, like you need a fucking shrink, but more like a just, a little pick-me-up, a little something. I'm like, man, whatever, knock yourself out. You think it'd be all right if I bounce some ideas off you from time to time? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm exactly the guy for that. Yeah, if it doesn't involve me getting money, I'm not entirely interested in hearing what you have on your mind. But in the interest of appearing professional, I'm like, fucking tell me all about it. Tell me about your mom, tell me about your dad, tell me about nursing school, what the fuck ever. So I get this fucking thing. I made this video and it's about ghosting. And so I can't help myself, man, because obviously like this chick ain't 25, man. All right. A little bit past your sell by, as it were. Right. And, like long and short, like this is clearly, this is not about anybody else, right? This is about you. This is like, why won't these guys call me back after I fucked them? And I'm like, okay, so I see what this is about already. So she sends me this video little product that she did, and it's what is ghosting, and it's got like this dodgy stock footage in the back of like the bed sheet ghost like drifting by, and I'm like, yeah, let's hear what you got to say about this. What is ghosting, and why do people do it, and how can you deal with it when it happens to you? Oh my goodness! And instead of any kind of like, hey, why would somebody do this? Why, what the fuck, right? Like 1 minute you got your dick in somebody and the next minute you're like pushing straight to voicemail, right? Why is this? So I'm watching her little video and it's like these little bullet points and it's like, this is just from cowardice. That's what it is. It's from cowardice and not wanting to face up to the facts or face up to your feelings and be honest with the other person. And I'm like, okay. And, so she asked for my input, man, and I hit her back and I was like, look, you're according to your data here, like over half of people, well, according to her data, right, 75% of people have been ghosted at some point. And I don't know if this is people in general. Like, I don't know who the fuck they asked for this. But they're saying 75% of people in general. I'm going to actually assume that means women because have you as a dude ever been asked anything like this? I know I haven't, right? But it also says that 65% of people have engaged in some form of ghosting. So what this tells me, I suppose, is just by virtue of the mismatched numbers here, is that one, either there are people lying about, or have the impression that they've been, bunny ears ghosted when they haven't actually, and or there are a lot of people doing the ghostings, on multiple people. Because this is just like, I don't know if you remember, like when you were in high school and they're talking about, when you're in health class, like, is it normal to be fucking when you're 14 or 15 or whatever? And you're like, as a dude, you're like, oh, please say, man, I got some ass in the near future, please, God. And they're talking about like, yeah, well, a handful of high school girls are admitting to getting it on. And a whole lot of dudes are saying that they're getting it on. So, when you look at numbers like this, you got to kind of think through these stats the same way. So if it's a lot of dudes and only a few girls, you can consider that some of these girls are probably lying and they're getting it when than saying they're not, right? And then a lot of these dudes, maybe they're saying that I'm getting ass, but they actually aren't all, right? So even when you account for some of that, then what you see is there's a whole lot of dudes going through not that many women. So now you got to think about it, and this was something that kind of came up, was that like, hey, so if you are a dude, a high school kid, right? Not you personally, but this is like the line of thinking. You're a high school kid and you're thinking, yeah, I finally got some ass off, whoever, this chick over here at this party or whatever, where somebody snuck in some fucking Boone's Farm or whatever. Now you got to consider the probability that if you got ass off of her, there's probably a shit ton of other dudes that did too. And, I think that applies like really heavily like in something like high school where those stats are kind of flip-flop like that, where maybe, and I don't know, I've never been a high school girl in my whole life, but probably they're not quite as spun up as you are as a young dude. So the girls that are putting out, like they're getting run the fuck through. And the rest of them are like, well, I'm going to hold out till I get to college or what the fuck ever, right? But it's just something to think about when you just see these numbers. So I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, all right, so, back to ghosting now. So I'm looking at these numbers and I'm like, all right, so one, what does this tell you? This isn't giving us any kind of a gender angle on this thing. Like, is it the dudes? Is it the women? What it is saying is that there's not quite as many people doing it as it is happening to. So there's not as many people doing it, but a lot of people saying, oh yeah, that's happened to me. So it's to say that like people who do it are going to do it. And people who have it happen to them, whatever it was they did or whatever behavior or traits they displayed that caused someone to do that, whether they had any hand in it at all or maybe somebody was going to do it anyway, but it's worth considering. Like if there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, this keeps fucking happening to me. Okay, well, maybe the problem isn't everybody else. Or if there's people that are like, yeah, it's these few people and they do it a lot. Okay, well, are you going to actually change the way that those people interact with people, with someone else? If they're just going to keep fucking doing it? So what's your point here? What's your point in putting this product together? And I said, now look, when you say that this stems from cowardice, people only ghost people because they're cowards. I'm like, all right, so you're straight away saying that I know what these people are thinking. I know why they think what they think. And here's what they are, like a very negative label on them. You're a fucking coward. And I'm like, so you're going to call more than half of the people that listen to this, because you got to assume that if people are looking at your video or listening to your thing or whatever the fuck, at least half of them have done this, and you're going to call them cowards. So why would you do that? Well, that's what I think. I'm like, yeah, it's what you think, man, but think about it. And I said, look, man, let me say it as plainly as I can for you, because this is, that's my cup of tea. Like, I give you the straight fucking answer. Women don't take fucking rejection well. So I said, look, your thing here is there's no gender specifics on any of these numbers, but I'm going to guess that it's women saying that I've been ghosted. Because I've never heard a dude say, like, yeah, I banged this girl and then she refuses to call me back or she won't answer my texts. Because anything before that is like, yeah, I took her out, whatever, and then she didn't answer my calls or whatever. Can you imagine fucking telling your friends that, like, yeah, I took this girl out, we went to dinner, whatever, and now she don't call me back. I got ghosted. Like, you didn't get shit, dude. You took her out once, she didn't like you. What the fuck do you want? It is what it is. As a dude, you pretty much deal with rejection constantly. How many times even you try to help a woman? I mean, there's fucking videos of this silly shit where there's like some woman and, her car's on fire or, she's got a dog running up behind her to bite the shit out of her or some kind of thing. And some guy will be like, hey. And she's like, I have a boyfriend. You're used to this shit. This is part of being a dude. They're like, hey, how you doing? Can I help you get out of the quicksand over there, dipshit? And like, no, I have a boyfriend. Okay, great. Not what I was asking. But as a dude, you have to deal with rejection all the time. Women, on the other hand, like if a woman makes a decision that I'm getting with that guy, if she rolls up and gets like, hey, I'm not interested, sorry. I mean, unless you got a real good fucking excuse, like she is going to be pissed. A lot of times, even if you try to come with her own excuse of like, look, I'm with somebody, I have a girlfriend, or I'm waiting here for her. Well, is she hotter than me? Well, like, dude, accept it, man. You don't just get to have whatever you want. But so I said, look, this is the news, dude. And especially now, the state of things, like women get to do and say whatever they want. So say a guy takes some girl out and say, I mean, this shit happens, man. Like you take some girl out and she's not quite as hot as you thought she was, or she's not as hot as she was on the profile or the first time you met her at 2 a.m. when you're shithoused and now you're seeing her again, whatever. But she's not quite your cup of tea, or maybe she just won't shut the fuck up, or maybe she's going to run on to you about how, you know, she's starting a nonprofit to dig wells in Africa. Dude, I went out with this girl one time that was, she was staying temporarily where I was living, not in my house, fuckhead. I mean, in the city where I was living, but she was originally from Seattle. Which, you know, you hear that and you don't want to jump to conclusions right away. I should have just jumped to conclusions. That would have been the smart money. But she was pretty good looking, and I took her out a few times, and she was nice. And like she even offered to cook, like, hey, come and visit me, and I'll cook for you. And I was like, yeah, all right. And dude, I go and visit her, and she cooked just fine. And but then she starts running on about how she's got this sister, and her sister is some kind of a doctor or some shit. And she's married to a Nigerian dude. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, they live in, I want to say it was New York. Yeah, I went and visited them in New York. And yeah, it was so cool, you know, like just hearing all the different languages that you hear in New York. It had to be like at least 5 or so languages at a time I was hearing on the subway. It was just so cool. I really liked it. And he's such a nice guy. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like your sister is a doctor, like obviously not an idiot, right? And yet you're married to some fucking Nigerian dude, and now you live in multicultural hell? What the fuck are you thinking? What are you trying to sell me over here? So I just, you know, this is, to me, is one of these things of like, I'm not going to change your mind, and I'm not going to ask you to like disavow your sister or suddenly change your whole worldview. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got to fucking go. So I rolled out of that fucking scene and like, hey, guess what? I ain't fucking calling you no more. Because I'm not going to fucking get into it, man, about like your sister or Nigerians or New York or why I shouldn't have to listen to 5 fucking languages at a time in a country that's supposed to be a homeland for me. None of this shit interests me. But I'm not going to fucking sit and explain that shit to you because you know some of the same people I do, and I don't want to have to explain to them either. So what's the easy answer? I just don't fucking call. Yeah, you text me. Yeah, what's up? You get the one-word answer. And plus, you live at least 1 flight away, so I don't have to fucking see you if I don't want to. And if you ever say you're going to be in town, well, guess what? I'm going to be somewhere else, even if I'm not. So I think in that sense, it's not just a fucking laziness thing. It's what is the least pain in my ass. And dealing with modern women, the least pain in your ass is just not to respond. I'm not getting into it with you, motherfucker. Like, I have something I want and you're not giving it to me. You're right. I'm not. I don't have to play this fucking game. So I didn't tell her this entire story, but, you know, I did say, like, look, man, women don't deal with rejection well. It turns into a huge pain in the ass. This is why dudes who actually have options, who have been down this road before, the smart money is going to be, yeah, you know what? I'm just not fucking dealing with this. See you later. But what became pretty obvious was that, like, yeah, this was obviously about her because she just started going on and on and on. And I'm like, I got something I got, so I just fucking ghosted her conversation. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's your post. Do whatever you want to do with it. Me, I got some shit I got to do though. So, you know, let me know what people think of it. All right, boom, and I'm out. Fucking see you later. But yeah, that's my take on ghosting. And I'll tell you what, something I didn't have time to get into with her, but as a dude, I think it is important to not get wrapped around the axle on rejection. Like, you can take this shit as like poll the crowd. Like, what do the big numbers say? Because I mean, if you put a poll out there and you're like, you know, say you're a guy running for president, you're like, we're going to do a fucking poll and we're going to survey 10,000 people. Do you like this guy? I like him. I sort of like him. He sucks ass. You know, whatever. You're going to do this fucking poll. At the end of the day, what do they fucking say? I want as many people to respond as possible. If I can get 10, 20, 30, 40,000 people, now I'm going to get a real solid idea of what policies do they like, what taglines do they respond to, what resonates with them, what pisses them off, what bright ideas did you have that you thought would really float, and they're like, you know what, I don't like hearing that shit at all. You're going to want as many people as you can to respond to this fucking thing. On the other hand now, if you went to one person and you said, you, one single person, what do you like, what do you not like? I like this, I don't like that. Oh my God, and now you go home and you start changing the whole fucking thing. That would be stupid, right? You wouldn't do that as a political candidate. But as a guy out here trying to meet somebody, we do this constantly. You talk to one woman and she's like, I don't like your shirt. I don't like your attitude. I don't like men who swear. I don't like men who are overly polite or overly gentlemanly. It makes you seem whatever kind of fucking thing. And then you go home and completely change yourself. Fuck that, man. So where this ghosting thing comes in is like whether it's ghosting or a woman ignores you or doesn't return your call or won't engage you in conversation, whatever the fuck it is. You don't have to take that shit as anything serious just because it's one person. It might be just that one trait, like you with a fucking necktie on, might remind her of whatever, her ex. It might remind her of her dad that used to get in her ass. You swearing a lot might remind her of the biker boyfriend she had that used to beat the shit out of her because she wouldn't shut the fuck up. Whatever it is, each of those things might be one little thing that she doesn't like. That doesn't mean everybody doesn't fucking like it. Because if you look at even these fucking, these polls for like political shit, there could be somebody that's like, there's one weirdo that's like, yeah, I really like this over here and I hate everything else. Everybody else is the exact opposite. So as a young dude, which I am not, but I'm telling you because I used to be, you go out here and you talk to women, you got to keep this in mind that what one woman says doesn't mean shit. All right, she likes this, she doesn't like that, she responds to this, she doesn't respond to that. Who gives a fuck about that one woman? If some woman is like, I ain't really interested in you. All right, fuck off. Beat it. You got like input just like with a poll, except your poll can't, hit 40,000 people, at once, check the box or whatever the fuck. You got to go one by one by one by one by one. So what you can do, though, is sort of keep track of like, man, when I do this, when I talk like this, I stand like this, I behave like this, I take this perspective, I get good results, or I get more good results than when I do like so. Because, I can tell you like way back whenever I would roll like, a lot of times when you roll up, like, I just do not give a fuck what you think or how you feel about me. If you want to hang out, hang out. You want to stand here and talk, stand here and talk. If you want to fuck off and call me an asshole, go over there. I do not care. 99% of the time, that would really, really, really fly. Always really good results. But a few times, if you're paying attention, there might be some really shy girl that you're like, well, she's cute. I'd like to talk to her. And now you just say something and you act like this. She's like, ew, like just wilts. And you're just blowing yourself out of this thing. And you're like, well, kind of calibrate a little bit, right? She's not going to like that kind of thing. So maybe scale it back and like, hey, I didn't mean to be a dick. It's been a long day is all. Hey, what the fuck? What's your name? You want to do some shots? Whatever. But no, I'm saying, it's not one size fits all. But what I am saying is that it's important not to take the shit too seriously because what they're responding to is not so much you, the essence of you, as what you present. And, I would say women in general would do well to take a page out of these, pickup artist type things and understand that like when a man says or when a man ghosts you, what he's telling you is that, dude, it's easier to just ignore you and deal with any of the bullshit that might come from that than to try to have a reasonable conversation with you about, hey, I don't really, this thing you have for, Nigerian dude, or you telling me you used to date an entire basketball team at once. I don't like that shit. It's not my cup of tea, so I'm just not going to be calling you back, okay? If a guy gets the impression that like, yeah, this is going to be a tremendous pain in the ass, there's going to be nasty grams, shit talking, I might run into this fucking broad. If that's what it looks like, then fuck it. Then I'm just going to not call at all. So it would do well for a woman to take stock in something like that. But, as I found out pretty clearly what I already knew, suggesting something like that is like, you're wasting your fucking breath, dude. No, it's not like it because it's bullshit when people do that. I'm like, okay, it's bullshit. It's bullshit and everyone's cowards. So whatever. Enough of that. And I think we've talked enough about that shit. Let's talk about something that doesn't suck complete ass. Well, No such luck. We're going to continue on with complete ass before we get into anything with any real substance to it. So, dude, this makes me laugh, and it came out a few days ago, man, but I got to hit on it because to me it's so fucking funny. It's so predictable, and really just one more thing of shit that people are just starting to notice. So apparently Carnival Cruise Lines, man, and you've seen them, and I'll tell you, dude, I've seen some of these Carnival Cruise Line videos where I'll see like one white family in the middle of this absolute jungle boogie fucking shit show, and I feel so bad for these fucking people, man. Like just trying to hang out and have a pleasant fucking cruise. Surprise, fucking surprise. You are going to go home more stressed out if you make it home at all without getting stabbed, right? I've seen them where like some woman is trying to walk her kid through this fucking Section 8 shit show with like the She-Hippos doing the booty music and the big fucking dance and all this shit. And I'm like, man, I feel fucking horrible for them. But what I see here is that Carnival Cruise Lines has put out, like they're not coming out right out and saying like we've had it with these coloreds, but they're coming out with new guidelines and rules for their cruises. So some of the highlights on this thing included, like probably the most prominent one, is that they're going to be, I don't remember how they said it exactly, like they're not completely turning off rap music and hip hop, but they are going to more thoroughly tailor their music selections for what they play in the club and out on the pool deck and this kind of thing. So they're going to be obviously trimming down, they say, on the rap and hip-hop scene. And I think the way that they put it was like to be more inclusive, like we're going to include more different genres and types of music. So don't come in here expecting fucking hip-hop a go-go. Also on the music tip, they're talking about no more fucking Bluetooth speakers. Dude, I ended up at it was a little while back. I can't remember, maybe like almost 2 years ago now. I ended up in fucking Mexico, dude, at this resort thing that I got invited to. And it wasn't bad, I guess, because it was like totally closed off. I was like, Mexico? I ain't going to no fucking Mexico. But it was one of these deals. It's like completely closed off. Nobody goes in. Nobody goes out. It's like you're partying at the fucking Wonka factory. But nonetheless, none the fucking less, there they were, fucking Bluetooth speakers. And these motherfuckers will like turn this shit on and then wander off to go get more fucking drinks or what. And you're just stuck there. Like, you're just stuck there with this asshole's fucking speaker. And, then, like, they've got music out there playing. So now you got two conflicting pieces of music that are sitting here pumping into your fucking head. And wouldn't you know it, that speaker accidentally fell in the pool. It's a fucking shame. I don't know how it happened. I'm sure it wasn't me just nudging it in there. But, yeah, and obviously, the She-Hippo comes back and, what happened to my speaking? Oh, goddamn. I said, oh, man, I think a guy walked by here. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not completely sure. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but maybe talk to those guys over there that, hadn't even been by here. I don't know what the fuck to say. Fuck them. That's what I'll say. But Carnival Cruise Lines, yeah, no more Bluetooth speakers. We don't want to hear your shit. They're also talking about the drink, the amount that you drink, because I guess they got these packages where, like, whatever, you get a fucking wristband, and now you just cruise up there and you paid a shit ton, so you're going to go up there and you're just going to scan your bracelet or whatever, and now you get a fucking drink. They're talking about they're going to more closely monitor it, and I think the number was like 15 drinks in a day. Like, dude, if you're drinking 15 drinks a day, you'll be goddamn lucky you can even walk up there and get another drink. And I mean, I appreciate that, like, yeah, when you say a drink, like, if you're working at the DMV or you're a fucking highway patrol or fucking whatever, state trooper or whatever you are, when you say a drink, they're talking about one shot of liquor or one, whatever it is, 12-ounce beer or 8-ounce glass of wine or what the fuck ever, right? They're talking about this specific amount of alcohol, and that's what they're calling a drink. But I also know that when you go on these vacation fucking deals and they're saying a drink, they're pouring a drink like you pour a fucking drink. So there's probably 2 shots and change in any fucking cocktail. And, a beer is whatever. It's a fucking beer, right? What are you going to do? But so when they say like 15 drinks, like 15 fucking cocktails, dude. That's like 30 fucking shots, man. If you're even standing up still after 30 shots, like they should put a fucking statue of you. You should be the masthead up there. Like it should be you, like up at the front of the ship, like it's fucking Titanic, but you're holding the cheap plastic fucking cup because you're like the booze god of the sea. Just unsavory. But anyway, they're limiting that shit. They're talking about young people under 17, 1 a.m. curfew. And again, what do you fucking think this stems from? It stems from somebody bringing the fucking 17-year-old fucking kid on this thing, and they're out there running around at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., probably stealing anything that's not nailed down, hassling people as they come out of the club, being a real pain in the ass. So I don't fucking blame them, man. I don't blame them a fucking bit. I would say the same thing. Like, you shithead, you are out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Another rule they had was no handheld fans. And I thought this was like, when you think of the obese fucker with like the little battery powered like handheld fan, like it's so fucking hot today, I'm fucking dying. Like this, no, that's not what they're talking about. Apparently, there's some kind of booty music, I don't know, Bollywood group dance or some shit that involves a fan, and I don't know, flicking your fan around. I don't know what you fucking do with it. Alls I know that anything that is not, I mean, literally anything, I guess, in the hands of one of these she-hippos instantly becomes a weapon. And there's probably a lot of instances of whatever it is, liquored up she-hippos spinning around, whacking each other in the head, and then it become a thing, and then she gonna pull she-hair and pull out she-weave, and they gonna hit her with this fan, and all of it stems from this fucking fan thing. She's like, you know what, no more fucking fans. How about that? So I think at the end of the day, what this situation is probably some pretty sharp motherfuckers, because if they were, in a sane world, they could just come right out and say, you know what, we've had it with this. No more She-Hippo music. No more fucking group brawls. No more of you motherfuckers. Enough. Get out. I mean, that would be, in a sane world, that's how this would be handled. But what they've done here, I think, is, not quite as good, but it's a real solid step. And what I think this does is just singles out the black community as like, look, the shit that you liked about coming on Carnival Cruise Lines is not going to fucking be here anymore. All the shit you got away with, it's going away. And I've seen, where a bunch of these, you see shit on social media and this, and like a ton of these fuckers, especially, the women, obviously, they get their nails and they up in here, they going to tell you something. Honey, I'll tell you something. And they're pissed. They're all pissed off, and they're talking about, I'm going to take my money somewhere else. And I'm like, you know what? Fucking think. And I mean, it really speaks to how much these people do not engage with reality. Because the reality of this shit is this, that you pay, a fucking customer could go and pay to go on this fucking cruise, right? You're going to have maybe it was, I never been on no fucking Carnival cruise. I don't fucking know. Maybe it was like kind of lower tier, but laid back. Nobody got super spun up. You get shithoused if you want. It's not super nice, but it's not super stuffy. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I never been on one of these fucking things. I don't plan to ever go. But I'm guessing maybe this is what it was like, because it's obviously affordable enough that these people were showing up for it. So this appears to have been like, this was their cut. This was their market demographic, was the people that don't quite have so much money. So now if you think about this shit, and you've got this segment of your market demographic that says, you know what, I'm not going to spend my money with you no more. I feel insulted. I'll go somewhere else. Well, then what does that kind of tell you? It kind of tells you, I mean, they would figure this out, right? If you're working at Carnival Cruise and you're Mr. Executive and you're Mr. Carnival, right? I'm John Carnival. And I go in here and they're like, Mr. Carnival, what do you think, man? If we put this shit in play, there's going to be a whole lot of black people that get insulted and they're not going to come here no more. And you go ahead with it anyway. Why would you do such a thing? Well, obviously because it's not going to cost you any money. You're not going to lose anything by doing this. And why would I assume that? Well, the way you were running things before, you were definitely losing money. You're losing money because white people look at this thing and they go, you know what, there's no fucking way I'm going on no Carnival fucking cruise. So I can see these fucking gorillas doing that bullshit dance and spilling drinks and picking fights, and I got to watch my kid the whole fucking time, and nobody can even get in the pool because I could see it's literally piss colored. It's goddamn danger zone in here. I'm not fucking going on this. You're losing fucking money. Okay, there's people that are not going to go because that shit is going on. Now, at the same time, the people who do go, right, the Jackson family and the Jefferson family, all right, and the Shaniquas and the Ray Rays and all this shit, those people are going to fucking go. But what's going to happen? Are you making money off of them? Even when you've got that whole thing fucking stacked out and that place is booked solid, are you making money? No, fucking probably not. One, because they're drinking the place fucking dry. You probably have to have a shit ton of insurance. You're paying for a fuck ton of security. Imagine all of the broken stuff. Holy shit, can you imagine how much shit these people break? Probably tearing things off the wall, throwing chairs at each other. Dude, I have seen these fuckers throw shit at each other. What is it with fucking throwing chairs, man? What the fuck is that? But they will throw shit at each other, destroy shit, setting off fucking fire extinguishers. Can you fucking imagine how much that has got to cost a Carnival cruise line? Probably every fucking time they pull into port is like, all right, man, we need a pallet of fucking fire extinguishers on standby because these fucking clown asses set these things off 9 times a fucking night. So you're probably just barely breaking even. It's like the fucking Walmart effect. You got to keep this thing running around the clock. Otherwise, you're not going to make a fucking nickel. Probably the people that work there, there's probably got to be a monster turnover. Can you imagine fucking working there? Tips? You ain't getting fucking tipped. I don't know if you're supposed to tip on that kind of shit anyway. I think maybe like you tip at the end or some kind of shit. But the amount of abuse those people must endure, like colored snapping their fingers at you, like, hey, bring me a new Folk. I dropped this one. Hey, like this ain't cooked the way I want. Hey, like constantly. I cannot fucking imagine. And I will bet for sure that these people are like, you know what, man, after this one, I am fucking out of here. So there's probably every single time there's a whole big deal of we got to get a new person up to speed. And we got to train them on this and train them on that. So that's probably extra ass pain on top of replacing all the broken shit. So the costs on this, just to provide for these people. And you know what's wild is like, it ain't actually any different in society. Just you could get in a car and drive away from it. You could go a few exits up the road. I mean, how is that fucking cruise ship any different than real life? Because they do this shit in real life, man. But because you don't have to stand there and look at it day in and day out, like you're fucking on some ship, like you're stuck with it, dude. You can't get away from it. But in real life, you could drive away from it. But at the end of the day, they're doing the same shit. And who has to pay for it? You do. But what I think is cool is that people are starting to notice it. I mean, dude, people are starting to notice a lot of shit. And people are fucking fed up. Which, to me, not so bad. Not so bad. So moving along, man. I don't know if you saw this this Epstein situation. This shit to me is, oh, buddy, this is just fucking hilarious. And I'll tell you, as compared to the October 7th and the Iran strikes and all this shit, I think that this kind of thing, the way that this has rolled out, the way that it's been handled, this to me is what it looks like when one hand doesn't know what the other is doing and you're making shit up as you go. Now compare that with like the way Israel has has put in play, what they had most likely planned and rehearsed. This thing that has happened like since the whole October 7th Bunny Ears attack that I don't want to get into it, but for my money, everything has gone as planned with Israel. And here's what I mean. When you got to make shit up as you go, like if you've got a plan and then something happens, you're like, if this happens, here's what I'll do. And then something happens and you're like, you do this fucking thing. Sometimes shit goes right. Sometimes shit goes wrong. And somebody could stand back and watch and go, okay, yeah, I could see where like, yeah, you thought this would work because it made sense. But now in real life, I see where it's kind of fucked up. Shit like that happens. That's very normal with any kind of contingency plan. Looking at how Israel has handled this this whole business, everything they've been up to since October 7th, you could look at this and say, like, yeah, some shit has worked for them. Some shit has not worked at all. Like, obviously, these assholes bit off more than they could chew, and they are getting their lunch ate by motherfuckers in flip-flops just attacking them with whatever they can find. And, the Hamas dudes there, I mean, they're getting beat, but I mean, shit, you have zero resources and you have these clown dicks being supplied by the U.S. that you have to fight against. So I'm not going to knock them for that. But what I'm getting at, though, is that looking at how it has gone with the Hamas dudes attacking Lebanon, attacking all the way up to Beirut, attacking Syria, attacking Iran, attacking Yemen now just today. This looks like the way a thing looks when it was planned. Like, you didn't know completely how it would go, but a lot of it went like you think it should. A few things went a little bit sideways, but in all, there was a plan, and you could stand back and watch and see, like, yeah, okay, this worked, that didn't, okay, yeah. Now compare that to this Epstein situation. This fucking bag of clown dicks, man, this is a fucking shit show deluxe. If you recall, like, I don't know, a quick recap here, man. I'll give you like the quick, I don't want to go too far down the hole. But the quick recap, this dude, Jeffrey Epstein, like this guy's name has come up for a long time back. I remember hearing this guy's name like years ago, and nobody knew, like, you didn't see like pictures of him, and there wasn't too much to go on. It was really like just there's this dude that's like this common denominator with a lot of the fucked up shit that goes on and a lot of these shady people. And that was just the way that you heard of it. And now as it is rolled out, this dude has obviously had kind of got rolled up for banging underage girls, for pimping out underage girls, for recruiting girls to recruit other girls that they would bring over to his house that he could bang and or pimp out. And while he was a little bit of an oddball and kind of a fuck up, and somehow ended up with a shit ton of money, but no real actual client list, and I'm talking about on the financial side now. He's supposed to be this brilliant trader dude, but like, who are your fucking clients? Oh, I don't know. Nobody fucking seems to know who his clients might be. Like, his ad at the time was like, you got to have $1 billion. You want to come do business with me. Well, who the fuck are you doing business for? Who are you trading for? Because nobody seems to know that. Nobody ever knew that. So this guy's kind of a fucking screwball, definitely a pedophile, definitely a shithead. Like, not too fucking bright, honestly. Like, this guy got pinched doing a lot of shiesty shit. Is he good with the numbers? I don't really know, because nobody can really point to any financial moves this guy made that got him the kind of money that he had. So somehow then he ends up with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is, and real quick here, Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of Robert Maxwell, a.k.a. Robert Benjamin Hyman Holk, a Czech Jew who helped funnel money and arms from the Soviet Union to what is now Israel. That dude, one of his lawyers, and I can't remember this guy's name, but one of Robert Maxwell's lawyers was or is Anthony Blinken's stepfather. So what you see here is like just a very tight-knit fucking web of like, these fuckers all know each other. So as it is then, as the Epstein thing played out, he was functioning, whatever, in name, on paper, I don't know, as financial advisor or accountant for Les Wexner, and was at some point then let go, presumably, according to them, for skimming, and I think it was like $4 million, which to that guy, probably not that much money. I don't know. Anyway, what we do know for sure is that this guy had, according to his flight logs, this guy had a lot of high-end people come out to his little island, Little St. James Island, had a lot of world leaders, a lot of entertainers, and had, who's that guy? Ehud Barak, photographed a bunch of times coming in and out of his place in New York City. So the question, of course, then is, Ehud Barak, somebody like this coming in and out of there, is he just getting some ass, or is he coming in and out of there getting information, delivering orders, taking orders, whatever the fuck? Who can say? But what we do know for sure is that a while back, where the, I want to say little black book, but the list of contacts that this guy had, right, as well as the flight logs, a lot of people in this list of contacts that was leaked as being connected to Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of these people were fucking dead. Like, these were people from way the fuck back when. So if we consider this, you're fucking Jeffrey Epstein as a math teacher with no college degree at a private school in Chicago. How's a guy going from there to financial advisor, and I don't remember what the name of the place was he was working, but financial advisor, gets fired from there, and then branches out on his own. At what point does this guy make these connections with a lot of these high-end individuals who are now dead? I don't know. How is he making connections with these kind of people that are coming out to his little private island there? Where is he meeting these people? This guy's a fucking weirdo and a shut-in, a pedophile. How are you meeting them? I don't know. What is it that you're doing hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell, who's obviously connected? Like, long and short, the way this plays out is that Jeffrey Epstein, 1 degree of separation away from Mossad. Ghislaine Maxwell, you could say, I mean, for my money, clearly hooked in. But we know for absolute certain, Robert Maxwell, a.k.a. Robert Benjamin Hyman Hulk, Mossad dude, right? So 1 degree of separation away from that. The guy was arrested for this whole pedophile thing down in Florida, and I can't remember what year that was, but the guy got a sweetheart deal and got cut loose, and what they said at the time was, we're not going to prosecute this guy because he is an intelligence asset. That was the news, right? That was it, and that was all. So the guy got like a, knock it off and stay at the house, whatever. So he got fucking cut loose and then ended up getting rolled up again, and I don't remember exactly what for, but he got rolled up, and Ghislaine Maxwell also got rolled up, and now it was on and on about, hey, somebody fucking release, hey, we want to know what's going on, hey, he's fucking, allegedly killed himself. The story was, well, the cameras malfunctioned and we had a lot of new people, working there because we had a manpower shortage, and, and then the cameras malfunctioned. The guy was supposed to check on him. Like, I guess there was confusion, so nobody checked on him. So yeah, he just managed to kill himself at a place specifically designed to prevent you from killing yourself. What the fuck, right? So people want fucking answers, right? And they're hollering for fucking answers. And now Trump gets in there, and Trump is talking about, I'm going to get answers. You're going to get answers. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, get to the fucking bottom of it. So now you get fucking Cash Street Shitter Patel. You get Dan discount code Bongino in there as the fucking director and deputy director of the FBI. You get Pam fucking Bondi as attorney general, I guess. And, I mean, what the fuck? All these fucking stories about this broad talking about the fucking client list is on my desk right now. We're going through hours and hours and hours of video and names and statements and documents, and we're going to let you know, right? And I'm going to release this shit, but it's going to be, once we go through it all, and we got to do this the right way. Okay, where the fuck is it? Well, we're going to release some stuff, but we're only going to release it to some fucking Jewish social media hacks. So when they do that, and these clowns release it, we see that what they put out was shit that everybody already had. Except the shit that everybody already had, these guys just took it and redacted it. And I guess the idea was to make it look to you like, whoa, dude, like the stuff they're officially releasing, like I already know more than that. Dude, you don't know shit. This is fucking stupid. So now the most recent thing is that they floated this thing a couple different times where Cash Patel has gone on some fucking shows and talked about, hey, trust me, he killed himself. That's it. That's really it. That's all. And now I guess it was just yesterday, Pam Bondi comes out with, there's no client list. There is no client list. Cash Patel, there's no client list. Dan Bongino, no, he killed himself. Yeah, no, he killed himself. Yeah, dude, I know for sure. I mean, and I would know, right? Like, why would I lie to you? Why would I come on here and lie to you? That's talking about indicators of deception. This is like that question right there. Why would I? How could I? Any of this shit. This is an indicator of deception. When you ask a person, did you this? Is that? Where is this thing? Where is that thing? And they turn around and make it into a question for you. Why should I know where that is? Don't you think I would tell you if I knew? Do you think I'm some kind of liar? Right? When people start asking you the questions right now and they're turning it into a question about your faith in them, your thoughts about them, how you perceive them, what justification you might have, but clearly don't for thinking that they might mislead you, you're completely steering the conversation away from what the conversation was about. What the conversation was about is where is the fucking list? Where's the fucking list, Lebowski? Right? That's what this conversation was about. Now it's about, well, don't you think I would tell you? Can you think of somebody else who would know better than I would? I mean, I'm at the FBI, right? So I would know, right? Do you think I don't know what I'm talking about? Now I think you're a bullshitter. That's what I think. So what we're hearing now is that there is no list. There are no further crimes. There are no other people complicit in anything shady that was going on with this Epstein character. And yes, he absolutely killed himself. That's what he did. Yeah, nothing else to see here. That's it. That's all. Case closed. However, and this is what I was getting to by kind of leading into this thing with Israel, where you look at like a plan that goes the way that it should, it looks like what Israel is doing, right? You have a plan. You had some contingencies. You put it all in play, and you watch it go. Some things, maybe they don't work right, but mostly it works properly. This is an absolute fuck story. This whole Epstein thing. So here's what I mean. All of the fucking loose ends, all of the people talking about the things that we talk about non-fucking stop, but then when they get in there, they have no excuse for why they can't provide you or answer the questions that we sent them there to fucking answer. And here's what I mean. Like when we talk about flight logs, when we talk about what the fuck is going on at this place, where are all the documents, the photos, the videos, all that shit that was pulled off of that fucking island? Where is all that stuff? People who were in those flight logs, did you follow up with them? Did you interrogate any of them? Did you question any of them? Did you investigate anything at all? All of the documents that you said that you had, where the fuck are those? What happened to those? Were you lying then or are you lying now? And then lastly, and this I guess is what really puts the big cherry on top of this thing for me, is that when you say, oh no, there's nothing to see, there actually were no client lists, there were no logs, there were no documents, there was no investigation, there were no co-conspirators, there was nothing at all, there's nothing to see. That's all there was. Oh, so there was no evidence of a crime. But what you're telling me then is that this guy who beat the rap once before and then got arrested again and was meeting with his lawyer so regularly that other prisoners were bitching that they didn't have access to the meeting rooms so they could meet with their lawyers because this guy is sucking up all the extra time, right? This guy's in there way past his allotted time. That guy, behaving that way, decided to kill himself, even though there is no evidence of a crime, as you say. So make that shit make sense. The guy beat the rap once before. The guy is putting in the extra hours to beat the rap again. You say there is no evidence of a crime, and the guy decides, yeah, you know what? Fuck this. I'll just kill myself. What? That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. So what this sounds like to me, I mean, like I can't make heads or tails of like what actually is happening. And I think this is an important thing to keep in mind, you know, especially from our side of the fence, is I don't always have to know exactly what is happening. A lot of times, all I have to know is what is not happening. And what is not happening is what you motherfuckers are saying. You're coming to me with this fucking story, with this series of events, right? Clearly, that is not fucking happening. You're giving me a lot of indicators of deception. You're giving me a lot of claims that contradict each other. So when I see all this, one thing can happen. One guy, you ask somebody something and they're giving you a completely straight answer and they say, I don't fucking remember. What, do I look like goddamn miracle worker? I can't fucking remember that. Okay, maybe he really can't remember. Sometimes a guy just decides, whatever, maybe he's off his fucking meds and just decides, what, everything's going my way, but nonetheless, stepping off this edge. That's it. That's all. People do that shit. But all of these things together, again, just like the ghosting thing, when you take all the information, you put it all together, and then you step back and you look at it. Now you try to make an assessment. What assessment do you arrive at? These motherfuckers are lying to you again. So what it kind of comes to, I guess, at the end of the day, is that there isn't really a scenario where you vote this shit better. I was talking to a dude about this the other day. I was talking to a dude older than me, fucking boomer, about this shit the other day. That like, dude, you fucking tell me, how do you see this shit getting voted better? And this poor bastard, man, like, all about the Trump thing, dude. And I appreciate that, like, what you see on TV, they don't like Trump. So you figure that, like, me liking Trump, that must be that, like, that's the way this is going to improve, right? And, these damn Democrats, and that's what the problem is, we got to get these goddamn Democrats out of there fucking everything up. And I'm like, you know what, man? Like, look with your fucking eyes, dude. Look at what's right in fucking front of you. These people are fucking lying to you. Now, if you know that people want to know about this fucking Epstein thing. If you could come out with this shit, probably, if there was a president and a handful of government people that weren't on the hook in some kind of way, if they came out and dropped a bunch of information about this fucking Epstein thing, arrested some people, even maybe, even if it's people that were dead, like this motherfucker, guys that are retired, this motherfucker, we're going to round his ass up. But, he's not getting snatched out of Congress. It's some old guy. It's from a long time ago. A lot of people would probably still be satisfied with that. And like, yeah, I mean, justice takes time and he's doing his best. That Trump, he's all right, man, right? People would buy that shit. Boomers would go nuts for it, man. Like, yeah, they're fucking arresting guys. They're rolling people up. Okay, yeah, sure, maybe, kind of. It's fucking bullshit, right? But they're not even doing that. So where they could give you something that would really, really shut you up, that would really please most people, like, holy fuck, man, justice is taking place. This is happening. They could give that to you, but they won't even give you that. So if they'll lie to you about that, what the fuck do you think they're doing with other stuff? Like fucking Israel, like fucking immigration, like fucking Ukraine. What do you fucking think they're doing with that, man? They are bleeding you fucking dry. Dude, I was at a 4th of July thing. And I went to this thing like promising, like I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to fucking start with like, any ranting or raving or this is probably the last fucking 4th of July we're going to ever have. Like I'm not going to do it. I won't. I promise. But I got there, and this fucking guy, he wouldn't fucking stop, dude. The guy fucking kept on me and finally pulled me in, man. And I'm like, motherfucker, here we go. So this fucking guy talking about like, we got to do something, man. We got to do something about Russia. That guy's crazy and fucking. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? What fucking crazy? Well, don't we got to wear them down, man. We got to fucking do this. We got to bleed them dry. We got to this. We got to that. Like, how? Why? Why? What the fuck are you even talking about? Who the fuck has Russia invaded besides the fucking Ukraine in the last, who knows how long, in the last 50 years? Afghanistan? Wasn't that the last fucking go-around? Why the fuck did they invade Ukraine? Because of the U.S. fucking around constantly. But now you come here talking about they're the enemy. Why? Why does it have to be that way? God, dude, man, we gotta stay strong, dude. We got enemies, Iran, dude, they're an enemy, man. Like, dude, who the fuck has Iran invaded? Who the fuck did Iran launch missiles at? How many fucking generals in Iran have we killed? At least one, that Soleimani dude, and that was on Trump's watch. And now fucking Israel, just launching fucking missiles in there. Tell me again how we're the good guy? We had to do this shit, they were supporting, the Taliban, they were supporting them, against us, trying to fight us. I'm like, why wouldn't they fucking fight us? We invaded their country. We had to invade their country because 9/11. Fucking what attack did Afghanistan commit? What are you talking about? I'm just going around and around with this motherfucker. And it's like you talk to these fucks, and I think I saw it in the chat, man, and I think it's like the best point a guy can fucking make. Is that, dude, I'm fucking tired of these normies, man. If you don't see what the fuck is going on by now, like, there's no hope for you. If you can't take an honest look around and go, you know what, I think the people running the show in this country actually might not be the good guys. I think they might be dragging us into their little bad guy club, making us wear the little burglar mask and be a fucking henchman. I think we're getting fucked around here. If you can't look at this shit by now and say honestly, like, dude, this is super fucked, man. We're not the good guys in here. We need a different fucking plan. There's not much I can do for you. And I had seen a few chats, dude. I've seen a few fucking things. People are talking, especially people from Europe, talking about like, dude, with your Second Amendment and this kind of shit, why the fuck don't you people just rise up and do something? And I got to tell them every time because, dude, we have boomers. These stupid sons of bitches will fight to the fucking death. I mean, it's like being in the fucking Matrix. They'll fight to fucking protect it because they don't know any better. And actually, they do know better, but they'll believe whatever they're fucking told. They believe whatever they're fucking told, and they will fucking gun you down for trying to save them. So I'm like, dude, for fucking what? So, dude, yeah, like maybe we're not going to fucking vote our way out of this thing, but you certainly can't fucking fix it with these dumb sons of bitches standing in the way. So again, I think it's going to be one of those things where like you just have to be patient. You just have to be patient and persistent and not fucking give an inch, especially to like the dumb fuck blue hairs. They're going to try to come to you with a fucking pride parade or some shit. But as these boomers go away, man, I mean, I am having confidence. Like every step of the way, I see these Hebrews starting to sweat, and I see how much the generation Zyklon is like, we want the trains running on time. We're tired of the fuck games. So I'm having high hopes, but long and short, man, it's like keep your powder dry. It's a fucking marathon, not a sprint. Just be patient. Don't rush it. These boomers can't last forever. But with that, I guess the thing I wanted to leave on was something that, circle jerking back to kind of some of the shit that I endure during a week of work is this big focus that people have on leadership. And I can be honest with you people, man, I am sick to fucking death of hearing the word leadership, leader development. I want to see people lead. I want to see people bonding. And I find it gay for a couple of reasons. The first thing, I guess, is that it's like that fucking meme that's like, your grandfather had to work half as long for twice as much to get a woman that's 10 times anything you could get. And you got to get out here and bust your ass for some shot out wannabe influencer with a body count like a fucking phone book and a mortgage that you're not going to pay off until you're fucking 90. It's not a way to live. And if I'm being straight, dude, there is no amount of leadership. There is no amount of tailoring your message to your people that's going to unfuck any of that. All right. I honestly think that, this fucking thing is in the middle of collapsing. I'm not going to say like it's going to collapsing. It's actually happening right now, man. Shit is going fucking pear-shaped. Not at Mach 10. It's just slowly getting worse and worse and worse. But, I don't think that there's anybody that's going to be able to step up and like, hey, everybody, here's what we're going to fucking do. Even if a brilliant motherfucker did appear, it's like there's so many voices and so much bullshit and so much to overcome and so much boomer bad noise that motherfucker is going to get drowned out. So instead of this bullshit of like leadership, we need somebody to save me. Like I think it's almost like the equivalent of like somebody got to pay for these kids. Somebody got to come up in here and do something. Motherfucker, you have to do something. And what I mean by you have to do something is instead of, waiting for somebody to take charge of the situation or take charge of my economy or take charge of my community, you need to take charge of whatever the fuck room you're in, man. And if that's your room, your small shitty apartment, that shit needs to be running ship shape starting first thing tomorrow. So I'm talking about what goes on around here, what's supposed to go on around here, what's getting fucking wasted, what is absolute bullshit and needs to stop immediately. You need to iron those things out. And then you can start looking at what could possibly go wrong, what do I need to be thinking about, what might be coming down the road that I need to plan for, all of these contingency type situations. Because a man cannot rule the world around him until he can rule himself. And until you can control shit like your appetites, your impulses, all those little things that chew away at you being what you could be, it doesn't fucking matter what somebody else shows up and says like, oh, hey, let's do this, everybody. It wouldn't fucking matter because you wouldn't be in any position to do anything about it. So talking about leadership, fuck all that. For my money, the watchword should be personal fucking accountability. Having your own house in order, having your own life running the way that it should be. And as far as leadership goes, that is a way that other people are going to look at you and say, dude, that guy has his shit together. I need to be doing what he does. I need to know what he knows. And that's when you can start talking to people about, look, this is what's important. That shit over there that you're doing, that there is bullshit. Stop wasting your time on it. Some people might listen. Some people might be like, yeah, but Trump's going to fix it. Fuck off, boomer, right? But you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of guys. You just need the right guys, yeah? With that, man, I think that's probably enough. Hey, I want to remind everybody, go to AboveTimeCoffee.com for all your coffee needs. Once again, man, they sent me some samples. It's good stuff. They don't pay me to shill for it. I'm just shilling for it because it's good stuff, and it's a white-owned business for the benefit of white people. So go to it. AboveTimeCoffee.com. Put it in a cup. Put it in your mouth. It's for you. Other than that, man, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, I want to pimp you to go to get on the Telegram chat, man. It's good action on there. Some really good talk. There's no weirdness. There's no infighting. I won't stand for it. I don't actually do any hammering on there. I got one guy that'll keep people tuned up. Like, yeah, man, there's no bad noise in here. It's all good noise. So check it out, man, on Telegram, t.me/abuse hour. or t.me/rant room for the chat there. Apart from that, man, it's the middle of summer, so get out there, get some sun, take care of yourself, get some good lifts, and until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon and keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee, and these are my takes.